On your mark, get set. Let's go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up?
Montana looking, throwing in the end zone. Caught it! Dwight
Merrill over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
And that'll do it. It's over. The Golden State Warriors return to a familiar place. They're on top of the NBA world.
We're down to 2, now to 1. Here's Jordan. Yes! It's all over the Chicago.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Hey, this promises to be fun.
Oh, yeah! Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the next installment and edition of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. I am one half of that duo, Cole Johnson. The other half will momentarily join me. Hopefully he is doing well and he's convalescing and resting and getting ready for today. Now, on tap, I think we are scheduled to have the Playmaker join us at the top of hour number 2. And, well, we have some sports things to discuss, right? So let's get right to it, shall we? The whip around, please. Now, this absolutely disgusts me. So you had the fallout from the 19-3 butt whooping the Bucks gave the Cowboys Sunday night, but there was some chirping, courtesy of linebacker Micah Parsons. Now, if you haven't seen it, you probably have. There's a play that has started a Twitter beef where Bucks running back Leonard Fournette did his job, where he wanted to deter a stud pass rusher from getting the jump on the left tackle that he is just basically burning. So normally in certain pass situations, running back goes out to that side and chips the pass rusher. Well, Fournette chipped Micah to a pancake, flattened him on his tush. But Parsons took umbrage to that block. And it wasn't from behind. Fournette faced him square up, and bam, the block happened. He fell to the ground. But Parsons figured that he had to say something real cheap, went to Twitter and said the following, quote, "Now go watch the tape and see what happened when it was me and him one-on-one." Look, I chalk it up. This is an offensive league. Offense sells tickets, defense don't. They don't protect defenders. That's not a chip. That's a blindside hit. He's 260, putting his whole shoulder and head into my rib and neck area. Close quote. Let's get something straight, Micah. I know this is your second year in the league, and it's not like, I thought you already understood this because you had a really good rookie campaign. This isn't like in college where basically it's man on man, and if you beat your man, more than likely you will probably either get the sack or the hurry or the pressure, right? Well, sometimes you're the hammer and sometimes you're the nail, and that has nothing to do with offense selling tickets and defense not. It has something to do with absolute right football. Coaches teach you this. They teach you, be prepared for if you actually start to cook, that you're going to get either a tight end in motion or a running back to come and chip you. This is not difficult, Parsons. This is football 101. And now the attention's on you because you're the best, to me, you're the best player on the team. Forget the defense. You're the best player on the Cowboys. So you're going to get the number one focus. It's not about if we can stop Dak or if we can stop Zeke or we can stop CeeDee Lamb. No, the focus with every opponent that you're going to face this year is how are we going to stop Micah Parsons? So welcome to the big leagues, kid. Now you are the focal point on how an opposing team is going to defeat you. Take it with the pride that you're supposed to and run with it. Sad, man. Come on, stop complaining and stop being a kid, man. You're a grown man. You a grown man. Stop. So last year, you may have heard assistant coach Britt Reed, and of course, yes, that's the son, one of the sons of head coach of the Chiefs, Andy Reid. He pled guilty. He had a DUI or DWI incident that happened. So on Monday, he pleaded guilty to driving while intoxicated, resulting in serious physical and injuries stemming from that crash, which occurred when his pickup truck struck two stopped cars in an interstate ramp, and he seriously injured a 5-year-old girl. Now, he's scheduled to go on trial about 2 weeks from now, and he faces up to 7 years in prison. But the plea deal now means he can possibly face a lesser sentence. I will tell this to any and everybody within the sound of my voice. If you get a couple of pops in you, find a designated driver. If not, come with one. If not, Uber, Lyft, a cab, anything. You can afford all of those, Britt. You didn't have to hop behind the wheel sauced. And now there's a now 6-year-old girl who has to deal with the trauma of being hit because of your accident. You got to do better. You got to do better, man. But I'm glad that you're owning up to that. Let's see if you are not just going to pay lip service and you go forward with it. Switching to MLB, Mike Trout. He actually has been mired in a slump early this year. Now it seems like the power surge cannot turn off as he hit his 7th consecutive homer. Now, why is this significant? The record is 8. That's the record. The last time I remember someone trying for it and not quite getting it was actually Don Mattingly back in the early 90s. And he got to 7 as well, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So the Angels outfielder is now one shy of the major league record. And he had a 2-1 drive off of Connor Pilkington in the 5th inning. Now, this is his 35th of the year, and this was a dead center field shot, which traveled more than 400 feet. And along with Mattingly, who shares the same feat of hitting homers in 7 consecutive games, is Dale Long and Ken Griffey Jr. Now, can Trout hit his 8th consecutive? Well, I guess we'll see. But I guess it's a good thing because it's the most exciting thing that has happened in the Angels season in 2022. Because it's been an absolute abject failure and disaster otherwise. I'm going to go to the next one. I'm not going to go to this one. So the Braves had a chance to gain ground on the Mets, but they didn't. So the Mets fell 5-2 to the Cubs earlier in the day, and it left the door open for them to get closer to the Mets, who has basically had a stranglehold of the NL East for the whole entire season. But they did not do so. They fell 3-2 to the Giants. And so now they still are about 2.5 games back. But there's still hope for the Braves. I mean, we're still 2 weeks away from the end of the season. Hopefully they can gain ground, but any ground missed is a horrible ground for them because they got to make hay. Otherwise, they'll have to cross their fingers and be one of those wildcard teams. And more than likely, the Mets probably play the Braves in the wildcard round, the newly minted wildcard round as of next month. I'm sorry, it still angers me that we don't have a game 163 and we now have to play a wild card round instead of a wild card game. So the 5 realistic hires that you can place on Nebraska's staff and Nebraska's head man on the sideline is no one. And that completes today's Whip Around. Before I take a pause for the cause, let's get to the chat, shall we? We got to say what's up to the fam. And A Pizzle says, good morning. What's up with you, A Pizzle? Andrew says, morning. Andrew, morning to you. Sig Diggy. He says, oh, yeah, dig it. He also says, good morning to everybody. Mr. Stuck in My Mind. He says, about time. Been waiting for my favorite show to start. Hey, sometimes the best. No, I'm not going to go there. But yes, congratulations to you, sir, for interviewing the head man of Podmatch. Appreciate that interview. And hopefully I will have him on my platform and on Revelations in no time soon. The Playmaker, who will join us, as I said, in hour number 2, says, good morning. Good morning to you too, sir. V-Lock, good morning to you, my man. He says, good morning to the chat. Does Mr. Suck in My Mind, or Why Is El Jefe, who normally joins us every Thursday and Friday on the show. Salute to you, Sick. Man, this is just so great. So great vibes. A Pizzle, echo this sentiment all day, every day. Every day above ground's a good day. You doggone right it is. 6 says, quote, boy, the other guy got the drop on you in this play. You get him next play. Close quote. Thank you. I would hear this on the sideline myself when somebody got the best of whomever. They said, no, man, you get him next snap. Don't worry about it. Shake that off. Sick also says, more needs to be done to prevent drunk driving. It's everybody's problem. Exactly, sir. F. Holiday, good morning to you, sir. So glad that you're joining us, my man. Kick back, relax. You're part of the fam. A. Pistol says, let's go Braves. Victor says the Braves cannot afford to lose any more ground. I agree. Wise says, Mets fans were talking nothing but smack earlier this month. Yeah, and now, believe me, I have a Mets fan who is a coworker of mine. Dude's been stone silent since mid-August. and 6 says, good morning to you. Well, we will come back. And when we do return, I want to talk about should I say shameful behavior from the 12th man with the Seahawks. And what the heck was Nathaniel Hackett thinking in last night's game to finish off? I answer that question for me, and you could help me figure out that train wreck that happened at the end of Monday Night Football's opener. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. One half of the team is here. The other half will join me momentarily. We'll be back right after this.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
I want to show that attainability. I want to show the accessibility of this kind of lifestyle. From social media to having conversations with friends and family, you always have to put on face and say face.
What brings a smile to my face is the one person that totally believes in me, and that's my beautiful wife, Jody.
I just had to stop because I didn't value myself. I didn't love myself. And it's like, I have to learn to love myself.
Changing the world one conversation at a time. This is Revelations.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE.
Are you in a life-holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. If you're looking for a sports program that gives you the flavor. Washington Commanders? Really?
This whole thing stinks to high heaven.
That pulls no punches. Thuggish act by a thuggish actor. That gives you some humor. Praise everything LeBron does and never criticize it. If you want a show that gives you good times, then this is that show. I am Cole Johnson, and welcome to Cole Sports with a Z. Every Friday on Patreon, and every Saturday on YouTube, Spreaker, and all other outlets. Cause we take this job so serious.
What in the all types of blue hell?
This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Rolling along on a Tuesday morning. Welcome back to Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. I am Cole Johnson. The other half will join me in hour number 2. So everything is lovely here. Let's go back to the chat, shall we? Now, 6 says to the chat, don't forget to hit that like button. It helps with the algorithm, folks. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Yeah, show this some love because we are trying to show you love because this show only operates because of the goodness of all of you. And Wise says done. 6 says Wise, I'm glad I learned to be humble in my 20s. You got to give the other team their props when they're the better team on that day. He also says, it stinks to high heaven as originates from deep Hades. Yeah. Yeah, it does. And then A Pistol giving my show Code Sports some love going with the Z. And yes, you will be tuning in later on this week because I will be talking about this particular subject that I'm going to bring up now. And it's going to be one of the highlight features of the show. And I think you all know where it will be when I mention it. All right, so we had our first Monday Night Football game of 2022, and the Seahawks surprised us all. No, I take that back. No. Geno Smith surprised us all in not actually turning the ball over, although he came close to doing so a couple of times. But the team held on to a 17-16 victory as if but the offense did absolutely nothing. In the second half, the defense held to form. Now, I want to address the beginning of the game and the ending of it. So the beginning of it, you had a familiar number and a familiar face and a familiar name in a familiar city. You had a number 3, you had a Russell Wilson, you had that face, you had Seattle's, well, formerly known as CenturyLink Field, and the atmosphere was normal, except since Mr. Wilson was wearing the Broncos white and navy blue, the crowd was booing him because he was not wearing the home navy blue, or in this case, the home lime and navy blue. I have to park it here real fast for a second. This man has started all but 3 games in the last 10 years of your franchise. He gave you 1 ring, put you in the Super Bowl for another, where you were 1 yard away from getting this, getting the second one. Thank you, Malcolm Butler, for the pick in the end zone and not giving it to Marshawn Lynch. But I digress. Woosa. This guy gives you 157 games in 10 seasons of his absolute best. You see him progress from being a game manager to a guy who can sometimes win you games, to a guy who was the reason why you were in these games, to a guy who you had to build around him. And because he was seeing what was on the tea leaves, a franchise that's trying to rebuild and basically on the hush doing so, he wants to get in a situation where he wants to win again. And I don't really blame him for that. He wasn't going to get his money with Seattle because they felt that he was on his last leg, literally. And so, well, he searched for the deal. He found the deal, ended up being a mile high, and it's the right fit because, well, John Elway loves geriatric. I mean, quarterbacks past their prime. I'll put it that way. But there's a good fit. I mean, this is how the Broncos operate. This is how John Elway operates. He can't draft a quarterback, but he certainly can sign a free agent one. I mean, he's done it with Peyton Manning. He's done it with Joe Flacco. And now it is Russell Wilson's turn because he feels, okay, the defense is ready and set. They're built around Patrick Surtain and Nick Chubb. So they figure, okay, well, the defense is set. We got a couple of good pieces on offensive end in Judy and Sutton and good Lord, the Melvin Gordon and the other running back is just leaving my brain. I will find out that name in a second. My faux pas. So Elway is saying, okay, everything else is fine. All we need to have is a signal caller who can bring us to that promised land and win a Super Bowl. Here's one of those problems. In the AFC West, where it is the most competitive division in the league, and 2, you are in an area where it's Super Bowl or bust, and you can make an argument you're the 4th best team in your division. It's not the best thing that you can say, but you can hope to be one of the 3 wildcard teams that will make it out of the regular season and getting into the playoffs. I mean, that's the only thing that I can say that's positive about your situation. But look, I will applaud you, Elway. Wilson threw for over 300 yards in the game, gave you a touchdown, didn't turn the ball over, and your offensive line did okay. They only allowed 2 sacks. I mean, so it was a good effort all the way around, although I think I will get to Mr. Hackett in a second, the bright offensive mind that he's supposed to be. In my opinion, you ran the ball too little. And Javonte Williams is the answer to that is the running back that escaped my brain. So you have all of this at your disposal, yet you really have probably if you're lucky, the 3rd best, more than likely the 4th best team in the AFC West. All right, before I get to Mr. Hackett for a second, I'll give kudos to Geno Smith. 2 touchdowns, 195 yards, 20-28. He played within himself, did not try to do too much. Although one of those sacks was a loss, one of those sacks was a forced fumble, wasn't a lost one. So he did not make the key mistake, which that helped. So I'll give him credit. And I'll give Pete Carroll credit. The one thing that he knows how to do better than anything is be the rah-rah sis boom bah guy. He can get somebody to run through walls. He proved that. He has proven that earlier in his Seahawks stay. He's proven that He proved that with USC mostly. And even in his stints with the Jets and the Patriots, he proved it at times too. He he has this all shucks look, but he has a chip on his shoulder. And I think he appeals to that type of mentality. They don't believe you can do this. They think that you're not going to do. They think you're not going to do this. They think that you suck. They don't even have you third or let alone second or first in the NFC West. You aren't even thought about as a playoff contender. Heck, Geno Smith is basically a Siberian type of quarterback where he played himself out of the league. Now he's in it. It's almost as if he's trying to convince the Seahawks to be the new Raiders of the 70s, where it's like, look, we'll take your tired, your huddled masses, the thugs, we'll dust them off, and we'll present a new thug to the league and win with them. All right, well, before I even continue on that bent, all I have to say is survey set. But congratulations to the Seahawks. The defense did its thing in holding the Broncos to 16 points, holding them to 2 field goals, and getting two key stops within goal line range. I have to give you props there. So the props are done. Now it's time for me to focus on where I really want to do. Nathaniel Hackett, I have a seat right here, buddy. The seat's waiting for you. It's warm. Ow! No, it's not warm. Actually, it's hot. Sit down. What in the all types of blue Hades were you doing last night? Correct me if I'm wrong, sir. You got to this position because you're a bright offensive mind, right? You were the quarterback whisperer to Aaron Rodgers when you were the offensive coordinator for the Packers. Am I not correct? So you have the understanding of we have a quarterback that we pay a whole load of money for in the 9 figures, and we want this guy at times like these to pull it out for us, right? What type of clock management crap was that last night? Explain this to me. Somebody give me the rationale as to how you managed the clock when 4 minutes to go in the game and you had the ball at your own 22 and down by 1 point. Explain this to me. Please, because I think I should be serving this to you all day long. Stop the cap with all the decisions you've made. Just stop it. It's ridiculous. You wasted time. You had 3 timeouts. 3! You had 3 timeouts to use. You had 78 yards of field where all you needed to do was get to the Seahawks 35 maybe. And maybe 35, definitely the 30. And you would actually have a good field goal opportunity. We're talking 50 yards. 50 yards. And you were moving the ball on this team. I would get it if you were struggling. It was like 3 yards in the cloud of dust, but you were moving the ball on them. You were moving the ball on this defense. The only problem was you couldn't punch it in and score. Because if you didn't turn the ball over, you kicked field goals, but you turned the ball over twice within the red zone, as they call it. So riddle me this, Mr. Hackett. So with 3 timeouts, 4 minutes to go in the game, you are down by 1 point. You have a quarterback that you now are paying $256 million to win games like this. To win games like this. And you waste your time, you waste a 2-minute warning, and you're still on your side of the field. You're not even at midfield, much less on the Seahawks side of the field. You were still languishing on your side of the field with 2 minutes to go in the game, still with your 3 timeouts, and then you advanced the ball maybe 10 yards after that, to the point where the Seahawks helped you, and they called a timeout. So why is it that I'm seeing you line up on your own 46-yard line to kick a 64-yard field goal with 2 timeouts remaining? Explain this to me. What, you thought that the kicker's leg was better than Wilson and how he operates? I don't understand you. I don't. It's like you inhabited the brain of Brandon Staley, the head coach of the Chargers. It's as if you decided to have a brain fart in the middle of the game. You paid Russell Wilson to win these types of games. You had played with a stud quarterback before you became a head coach of the Broncos, and you took the ball out of his hand. Why? Why did you take the ball out of Wilson's hand in that situation? I would much rather you go for it on 4th and 5 and you fail and you hang your head low because you were going to miss the opportunity of making a missed field goal because it's too far, rather than line up and kick the 64-yarder that, yeah, we know on the record books, one has made it from 66. Thank you, Justin Tucker. But this isn't something that you want your kicker to do all the time. I don't get it. I seriously don't. You wasted your quarterback and your offense by managing the clock poorly, by managing your team poorly. And this is your side of the field. Your expertise is offense. Your father's expertise was offense. And you, in the very first game you get to be head coach of, in 4 minutes' time, you only go 24 yards. In 4 minutes of time, you only go 24 yards. Only use one timeout. And you just simply wasted time. Wasted time. And you did not stress to your team, clock is important. More time we have on the clock, the better our opportunity is. Let's do this, please. Let's focus on what we need to do. Clock management is of the essence. If you're in bounds, get out of bounds. No, that did not happen. That logic failed to hit anybody on your offense. So I don't put it at the fault of the 11 that was on the field. I don't even put it at the feet or the head or the arm of Russell Wilson. He did all he had to do because he actually played, I won't say a flawless game, but he played a good game, one that he could have won. He put the team in position to win as best he could. But you trot out Brandon McManus to kick a 64-yard field goal. I don't even give a crap that he missed it. Even if he made it, I still would have the same anger towards you for this because it's a piss poor decision. Come on, dude. Really? Why did you sign? Okay, memo to John Elway. Why did you sign Russell Wilson if you're going to take the ball out of his hands in this situation? Why? What was the point in having him on your team? What is the point of having him on your team? If this is how you're going to construct your offense, it's wasted. It does not matter. It is moot. You are basically shoving money in down a person's throat to be a placemaker. 4 minutes, 24 yards. That's as far as you went. And if you think you are playoff ready, think again. Because this is inexcusable. Purely inexcusable. You do not put the trust of a game on the kicker unless it's absolutely necessary. If it was necessary, I get it. But this wasn't necessary. You had the ball with over 4 minutes to go in the game, and with 3 timeouts, and you didn't even manage to get to midfield. You all got problems because, and I'm serious, if you all think that you can win the AFC West doing this, you got another think coming because it's not happening. Not like that. And why did you pay Russell Wilson $256 million if in moments like that, you're not going to have him be the guy that's going to win or lose it for you? You want to have him be the guy to win or lose the game for you. And if you're going to trot your kicker out to kick the winning field goal, let it be one where it's more makeable. Like, I don't know, one from 50 or 45. You had enough time to get that far, and you've had enough success to get that far because the Seahawks defense was bending all game long. They just decided not to break. I know a prevent defense, but Mr. Hackett, you have performed prevent offense. So now it's time for you to go back to the drawing board and be better than what you have been. Be better than what we believe that you've seen in the first 60 minutes of a game you have coached as a head coach of a team. Because this is unacceptable. Unacceptable. Get off the seat. When I come back, I'm going to show the chat some love and talk a little bit about Major League Baseball and some rules changes. Be right back.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Hey everybody, Snowman here. I have a way for you to support our humble little morning show and support your favorite team and or player at the same time. All you have to do is go to officialsitmorn.com/fanatics. That's right, officialsitmorn.com/fanatics. With the NFL on the way, as well as Major League Baseball heading into its playoff stage, you can support your favorite player and or team, and you can also support this morning show, as Fanatics is an affiliate sponsor of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Just head on over to officialsitmorn.com/fanatics and you can support your favorite team and or player. Fanatics, where sports fans shop. And when you go there, tell them Snowman sent you. Thanks.
I want to show that attainability. I want to show the accessibility of this kind of lifestyle.
From social media to having conversations with friends and family, you always have to put on face and say face.
What brings a smile to my face is the one person that totally believes in me, and that's my beautiful wife, Jody.
I just had to stop because I didn't value myself. I didn't love myself. And it's like, I have to learn to love myself.
Changing the world one conversation at a time. This is Revelations.
Steph Curry, Tim Anderson, Yordan Alvarez, and it's caught. Deebo Samuel with the catch.
Michael Jordan can sense
the throw. Just got the king.
BS3 Network.
The hottest of hot takes, the coldest of cold hard facts. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Weekdays at 8 a.m. Eastern. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure. Discouragement, sorrow, distance. Your arguments cause damage to your family. The hurt leads to divorce. You feel like there is nowhere else to turn. But there is hope for you. That's where we come into play. There is an overcomer that lives inside of you. one ready to take on the world as you leap for joy, living in victory. You'll grow to love yourself and others. There's life after divorce, and you can claim it today. Get Over Divorce, where your new story begins here every Thursday on YouTube and Spreaker. 'Cause we take this job so serious.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Yes, it's Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson.
As we went out on the first hour of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson on a wonderful, beautiful, terrific Tuesday. Let's show the chat some love. Talking about the reception, the chilly one, I may add, that Russell Wilson received at Seattle. Vic says there will always be sore lovers and losers in any sport, which is true. Andrew says, yeah, that was shocking. Andrew also says F for Broncos clock and game management and for Seattle fans for booing. Agreed on all fronts, Andrew. Agreed. Vic says Russell Wilson stayed loyal to the Seahawks way longer than he needed to. Agreed, man. Especially considered how many times his offensive line nearly got him killed. To that point, thank you, sir. The most sacked quarterback and the most hit quarterback in the last 4, 5, 6 years has been Russell Wilson. So to your point, Vic, exactly. Because that offensive line has been like Swiss cheese. And when I was having help, a brain lock for one of the Broncos running backs, Andrew, and playmaker, said Javonte Williams. Thank you, Andrew, and playmaker. Appreciate that. 6 says, there is no gratitude for all of what Wilson's done for them. How class of Seattle. And I agree. I mean, they haven't sniffed the ring. They came close to a ring in 2005. They haven't sniffed the ring since then. And this is the greatest success this team has ever had. The franchise has never had this type of success, period. Not before and not after. And the thanks he gets is a round of boos simply because he's not wearing their uniform anymore. Nah, man. Look, I get that you want to lustfully be against somebody because he wears the colors of the enemy. I get that. But you have to give him some love because he gave you something that you never experienced before. 6 says, here's my question. Will the Seahawks offense patch up these holes before the next game? Good question. Good question. Good question on that front, man. My short answer is I don't know. The Brian Snow answer is no. And I say the Brian Snow answer is no because they're going to be in Santa Clara to play the 49ers next Sunday afternoon. So there you go. Vic says there will always be players who get salty way too easily, referring to Micah Parsons. Thank you, sir. Vila says cook. A Pistol, terrible clock management. Sig Diggy says at least grease his behind before you seat the fool down. Oh, I don't know. I don't think he deserved that grease. And Andrew talked about the game manager, some of the worst he's ever seen. Drew Willingham, he says, good morning, Cole, and good morning, chat. And we'll be chopping it up later on this afternoon. I cannot wait to be on Drew's program. That brother has had Wise on the show. He's had Brian on the show. It'll be my turn. So I look forward to it. 6 says, watch this fool start muttering like Jackie Gleason in Honeymooners when asked that question. Like humana. Can anybody say power trip? Yeah. Bitter Truth. Good morning to you, sir. Glad that you have come aboard this ship. He says, I'm up, hungover, but I'm here. Ryan, good morning to you, sir. He says, on a school night, Bitter Truth, shame. Shame. 6 says, have some water, Bitter Truth, to help you with the hangover. Bitter Truth says, oh, Hackett? He's a moron. Thank you, man. And he enjoys what you said, Ryan. Oh my gosh. And I'm loving the love in the chat. Keep giving the love to one another because you all make this hall go, man. Thank you. Thank you for all of you. Ryan says, good morning, y'all, and good morning to Cole and everyone watching and listening. It's Tuesday, and I'm so glad it is a Tuesday. Bitter Truth says that is coffee okay? I normally don't get headaches. Six says, wait a minute, Cole. Was this fool using any logic at all? I don't think he was. I don't think Nathaniel Hackett was. And thank you, Bitter Truth. Why did you hire Hackett in the first place? Why did you hire him in the first place? All these good coaches out here, and you picked him? Yeah, I agree with you, man. Fully agree with you. VLI says, moments like those help prove the fans the validity of signing a quarterback like Russell Wilson, only to have it be taken away by the coaching staff. Boneheaded. I cannot stress those last two words more. Boneheaded. Exactly. That shows you the value of having a quarterback like that. And then when you take him away, I don't care if you're a Broncos fan. You can't lay the fault of that loss at Russell Wilson's feet at all. That is Nathaniel Hackett's. It's not even Brandon McManus's fault. It's Nathaniel Hackett's and his alone. And I'll even give Gordon and Williams some, yeah, it's your fault too, because each of them decided to take turns fumbling it within the red zone in the second half. Otherwise, one of those would have probably converted into touchdowns. Bitter Truth says, as much as the last drive killed them, they lost the game with those two fumbles. Look at that. Look at that timing. Look at that time. And I agree with you. Two fumbles in the red zone, that pretty much will deflate you. Six says, does Hackett have an issue with Wilson? Unless he's trying to sabotage Wilson's career intentionally. He would be sabotaging his own if he were to do that, because the best chance for him to win is to have Mr. Wilson cook. I just don't understand it. I seriously, I'm at a. You hear me now? I'm apoplectic, and I'm at a loss for thought and words. It just didn't make sense to me. Eagles Elite. I'm gonna get your intro and outro to you very soon, my man. Love you, cool. He says, good morning, everybody in the chat and gentlemen. Man, look, it's just wonderful to have people in here who just know the sport and have love for each other. Eagles Elite says, Geno Smith had a darn good game. Yes, he did. And Bitter Truth says, yeah, he was surprising. And he surprised me. I did not think that Geno was going to have a mistake-free game. So I got to give him much credit. AB Media, what is up? Good morning, man. Salute to you. Thank you for joining. Bitter Truth says, I just don't think he's smart enough to be head coach. Talking about Nathaniel Hackett. He got the job via the Good Old Boy Network. That's one. The fact he's the son of a coordinator, a longtime coordinator, and that he is the quarterback whisperer of Mr. Ayahuasca, who can't win a playoff game in January, or otherwise Aaron Rodgers. Basically, he got the Adam Gase treatment. You know, he won a Super Bowl because he was the quarterback coach and the offensive coordinator for the Broncos. Basically, he was sitting in the seat while Peyton Manning was the offensive coordinator at the time. And then he lands a job with the Jets and was doe-eyed all the while as well, making that franchise even worse than it already was. And I didn't think the Jets franchise could get any worse than that before he became head coach. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. McCarthy. Cool says, I think Hackett choked straight up. I believe he did too. I believe it was a job because this was easy to me. You've moved the ball on the team. You've moved the ball on this team. You amassed over 400 yards of offense on this team, 300 over the air. So you've had success moving the ball on. You just couldn't punch it in. You had success moving the ball on them. But you take your sweet time. You don't look at the clock. You give a crap if you were where you were as a team. And you had your full complement of timeouts, you only use one of them, and you get help from the opposing team because they called a timeout. So you had the opposing team call a timeout, you use only one of your three, and you had the 2-minute warning. So you had you could have scheduled 4 timeouts, maybe and you had a fifth, a gift timeout from the opposing team, and you mean to tell me you only got 20 plus yards in 4 minutes? Inexcusable. Ryan says, ugh, please don't bring up Gase's name. I had nightmare flashbacks this past Sunday thinking he was still running their offense. Oh yeah, and I forgot he put a bullet hole in the second team too. Thank you, Wise, with the Dolphins. Bitter Truth says, like any QB over 30 needs a quarterback coach. Thank you. Exactly. They don't. They could probably teach offensive coordinators and quarterback coaches, well, all they need to know how to do the position with all the stuff that they know. Cool says, Russ pissed this game. He wanted to win the most in the regular season. Yeah, this was the one he read. He didn't even put in red. He didn't circle it in red. He wrote in red Seahawks and a W beside it. So when that field goal sank a little bit to the right, to the right, that Wilson wanted to punch Hackett. You know this because I wanted to punch him for him. Oh my gosh. Thank you guys. This chat has been lit up. I'm loving the energy. Keep this energy going because it's only going to get better from here. Hour number 2 starts right now. On your mark, get set. Let's go.
Cause we take this job so serious.
All of it, between 2 people and 4 nostrils, all of it was gone.
LeBron James is pure, unadulterated trash as a basketball player and has been for 20 years.
We don't want to see
that. Wait a minute. We don't want to see
cap, bro.
Number 420. Wise El Jefe. Number 420.
I had to do it. Oh, man, I thought I missed it.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Yes, it's Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson.
Starting hour number 2 just right, I am Cole Johnson, one half of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. And on tap within, I'd say about maybe 10 seconds, will be our guest that normally joins us every Tuesday morning, 9:05 a.m. Eastern, and that is Darnell Solins, a.k.a. The Playmaker. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing good. What's going on, Cole?
Man, I'm doing good. I cannot complain, man.
Let's see. It's funny how, everybody was hopping on me of what took place Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
But forgot that everybody else played on Sundays. And it just so happens that out of all the teams, the Seahawks are the only team that went 1-0 in that division.
Yeah. The Seahawks are the only one that won in the NFC West. Yes.
And Snowman, lucky he ain't here right now because I have some questions of what took place in the place that is known as Soldier Field.
All right. Okay. I guess we'll start there. All right. So I have said this to many people before Sunday's game, and now I have even more questions about it after. I thought the 49ers won in spite of the quarterback position. So if that's the case, what makes them think that Trey Lance would be better than Jimmy Garoppolo?
Yeah, I had one job. Out of all the games,
thank you.
In the NFC West, San Fran was the most likely one to come out 1-0.
Yes, agreed. They had the easiest opponent to beat. I agree.
With us, it was a toss, so you could just flip a coin, and whatever it lands on, that's what you go with.
You had the Rams had the toughest opponent.
We knew what the Cardinals was in it for. We just knew that coming.
Yeah.
It made it even worse the fact that they don't even have Tyreek Hill and they still did what they did.
Yeah, that was an embarrassment. The Chiefs made the Cardinals look like a high school team. Seriously,
that was just embarrassing. And then everything you said before I came on, I'm just gonna leave it at that about that game. I gotta say that for tonight. I gotta say that for tonight when me and the fellas get together because there's so many ways I can go right now because I actually watched that whole game. I'm like, this is what's another right here.
I watched it from the second quarter on, and I'm still flummoxed. I'm like, okay, you slid that much money in Russ's pocket. You brought the Brinks truck to his house. This is a situation he wanted to win, and to me, I think this is the game he wanted to win more than any other in this year. Say for if they were to have a playoff spot on the line or if they were in the playoff game. To me, this is the regular season game that he wanted to win of all of them. He has a chance to do it down one. And this guy has within the capabilities to pull off comebacks like this.
Matter of fact, I believe he's second in the league behind Matthew Stafford.
Yes, he is.
I don't know when Nathaniel Hackett knew that. I don't.
Yeah.
Yo, your quarterback is second in the league with fourth quarter comebacks. I think that's a stat that you want to keep in the back of your mind.
Right. He's done this with less time and more field. And you mean to tell me
in the same building?
In the same building many times. And you mean to tell me this is what is unearthed? This is what results. I'm like, oh, wow. To me, that game is proof. And I've said this often. Quarterbacks can win some games and players can win some games. And head coaches can win some games too with their decisions. But head coaches can lose some. That is one Nathaniel Hackett lost for his team. And yes, I know Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams took turns coughing up the ball in the red zone. I understand.
No, not just the red zone. At
the goal
line. At the goal line.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll admit each guy took turns coughing up at the goal line. I'll admit that is hard in the second half. I'll admit that's hard too to turn. That's hard too.
That's to overcome. 14 points.
Yes, that's hard. That's hard to overturn and hard to overcome. I get that.
And I love Javonte Williams, but you fumbling it was ridiculous because that came off a turnover that the Broncos got.
Yes, and you should have at least come out with a field goal on that particular drive, at least. But you coughed this thing up and rolls in the end zone harmlessly into a Seahawk in the hands of a Seahawk. I'm like, man, come on. But yeah,
it was at that point I was like, Seattle finna win this game. Yeah, everything that's coming up Seattle right now.
Mm-hmm. But even with that, they still were down 1 point. This is Russell Wilson's time. This is like, okay, this game was made for Russell Wilson to pull out. Where it's like, okay, the Seahawks had the lead for most of the game, and now Russ can show why he is dangerous in another uniform.
Yeah.
And we get thoroughly disappointed.
So with Ewins doesn't go well for the returning player. Baker.
Oh, thank you for
Flacco. Now us.
Well, Flacco didn't really return the Baltimore. He just played them.
Yeah, he just played them, but it's interesting how these things work out. And all three of y'all took L's.
I was leaning toward making Mr. Mayfield the dolt of the week for my show, considering that.
No, I got to give him that. He showed moxie.
No, he did.
He fought to the end.
No, he did, and he always does. But
it's the defense that let him down on that one.
Yeah, the defense did let him down. But I was thinking, you were talking about this big bravado, saying you wanted to F them up, and then you're like, no, I'm gonna take it back. I'm like, no, man,
switch it up. If you want to do something, let's look at the kickers because I don't know what it is.
All
these missed kicks.
We're gonna get there.
Now, I'm not counting McManus. That's 64 yards. Okay.
No.
We understand the difficulty of
that. That's not on him. 64 yards. That's like if you make it, man, that's awesome. You miss it, like, whoo, but you put your leg in it, and he put his leg in it. So it's one of those, I give you mad credit for giving a good try at that one.
But everybody else?
No, like, talk on it. McManus? McPherson. I'm looking at that kicker for the Bengals. You only had one job. Team screwed up the whole game, turned the ball over 4 times. You allowed your quarterback to be sacked 7 times. Screwed up the whole game until the last half of the fourth quarter. You get the opportunity after, with no time remaining, scoring a touchdown to tie it. You had one job to do. You make the extra point. You win the game.
That's not on him. That's not on him. That's that line. How y'all let 39 out of all people get through?
Oh, no. I'm going to get to them too. The special teams, shoddy. I'm like, you mean to tell me you could see the line, you could see the hole that Minka Fitzpatrick could run through to get the angle to block the kick? But I also put it on McPherson's foot too, because he did kick it a little low. And I'm thinking, come on, man.
I put that field goal in overtime more on him than that extra point.
And then we have him and Boswell decide to match missing field goals in overtime. I'm like, really?
What a way to start football. Whether it's NFL or college. Oh, Lord, college football. Good curses when Wednesday get here. Oh, there's so many people I got to go off on. Oh, my gosh.
Look, I'm not going to go there because I feel like giving a piece of my mind, Alabama, Notre Dame, and the Texas A&M so bad. But I'm not going to do that right now. Okay, so looking forward to week number 2, I'll start with your team, the Rams. What do they need to do to bounce back from their lackluster performance this past Thursday?
Who's on our schedule?
All right. Give me a sec.
I don't know. It's my sister's favorite team, the Atlanta Falcons.
Now.
It's plain and simple. You treat the Falcons like the Falcons should be treated. That's it. That's all I need y'all to do. They choked another game away to their division rival.
That's inexcusable. A 16-point lead, and you in the fourth quarter, 60-point lead, and you lose the game.
Oh no, Matt Ryan ain't back there no more. He went to Colts. He too busy tying up with Houston. Congratulations, by the way, Cole, for not losing. Surprised everybody. That's the surprise of the week, really, because nobody gave y'all a chance to win that game.
No, I didn't give them a chance to win the game. But all I have to say about that is the Colts need to turn their NFL franchise card in, because they had no business losing or tying the Texans.
Goddamn tie. But you treat the Falcons like the Falcons. Yeah, they got Marcus Mariota, but guess what? He likes to use his leg more than his arm. So
that's one. 2, also, he has the penchant that if you put enough pressure on him, he could turn the ball over. And I think for the Rams, what plays in their favor is that particular aspect of Mariota's game right there. You put enough pressure on him, he can give the Rams easy opportunities to score. And I just don't have faith in the Falcons at all. And I want the Rams to be angry. I want the Rams to play angry. They need to play angry in this game.
By the way, I'm gonna address this on Ramley Talk Thursday. But Sean McVay, don't you ever say again that Cam Akers needs to make the most of his opportunities. We only gave him the ball 3 damn times. Matter of fact, you started Darrell Henderson. And that sucked the hell out of everybody because everybody looking for Cam Akers. And you started Darrell Henderson.
So that was one of the most peculiar things that I wanted to ask you. Is there beef between Cam Akers and Sean McVay? 3 carries, no yards. Is there beef between those two?
Nobody knows at this point in time. You know how the Rams are. They keep everything in house.
That's true. But still, I'm like, you know, I know, and he knows. I'm talking about Sean McVay. The most talented running back you have on the team is Akers. But you decide to, like you said, you decide to not start him. You start somebody else. Someone that I think you have more trust in because you've ran with him for 2 years. And you get the effort you get. Yeah, there's a lot of things there's a lot of things from that particular game that.
Oh, by the way,
make me shake
hey,
my head.
Matthew Stafford, do me a favor, because it's the Falcons we're talking about here. Do me a favor.
Throw the ball away.
No. That would help at key times. But no, there's another receiver besides number 10, okay? And the fact that y'all raved about him all the offseason, he only had 3 targets.
One of the gripes I've always had about Stafford is that he seems to lock eyes with whoever is the stud receiver. Now, I thought one of the best things that could have happened to Stafford was when Calvin Johnson retired, because I thought he was learning to try to get a different assortment amount of receivers, the same amount of love. And so he didn't lock eyes with one guy, but he gets to LA and he's locked eyes with number 10. Even with Beckham, he still was focused on Cooper Kupp. And I think that
with that one, it takes time to juggle. You come in mid-season, so Kupp and Stafford already got that rapport already.
Oh,
but when the playoffs came, okay,
yeah,
I can hit Odell when it's time to hit Odell, even though I can still hit Cooper Kupp. Because everybody knew it. That Super Bowl was going to be Odell Beckham's. Because the Bengals had no answer for him whatsoever.
No answer. If it wasn't for him tweaking his knee, he was the MVP of that game. There's no question, because the Bengals could not stop him. It couldn't even contain him.
But throw the ball to Allen Robinson, please. You have a big body receiver who can go get jump balls. Throw him the ball.
And please use Cam Akers. I mean, one of the reasons why you actually, Mr. McVay, you put forth out in public in saying that you felt as though he could be a 3-down back was that you believed he was going to be like a Marshall Faulk and you was going to use him as such. Wouldn't that help the dynamic of your offense and the way you like to call games, which is you don't know if you're going to, with Akers, split them out wide, roll them out in the flat, or have him run up the middle, which you can't really do with any other back on your team. You will try because, well, you feel as though you're a genius. But can you do that with any other back? No. You feel confident you could do it with Cam. Do that. Because that is a wrinkle that really the NFL has not seen you unveil yet. And I think it would help Mr. Stafford lock eyes with Cooper Kupp all the time. But
that's all I need. Because guess what? After this week, we go to Arizona and then we go to San Fran for a Monday night game.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to go to those 2 games with a win under our belt, and it should come to the Falcons, okay?
Yeah, you should win that game. It's at home too, so yeah, you should win that game. All right. What other aspects of the NFL impressed you this past weekend?
I mean, okay, so we know how media works, okay? We watch the media. I'm trying to get in part of the media and stuff like this.
Right.
Why does everybody brings up Green Bay and they talk about Aaron Rodgers and the offense? But didn't we not too long ago was talking about how good this Packers defense is?
Top 5,
right?
Top 5.
And nobody's wanting to talk about how Justin Jefferson had damn near 200 yards.
9 catches, 184 yards, 2 touchdowns. I saw much of that game. You cannot explain to me why this guy, who is the number 1 receiver for the Vikings, and there is no debate about that, having nothing but green in front of him. How was this guy wide open? And don't you play this team twice a year? I don't understand that. I would get it if it's like if it was an AFC team, one you don't see but once every 4 years, and you think, okay, whatever defense we have, we'll rock it. You play this team twice a year, and Justin Jefferson is not a rookie, and he's burned you before in that same building. In fact, he burned you so bad the year before. that that you had to cross your fingers and hope that Rodgers could bring a comeback, and you failed at that. So this guy's prowess, yet 9 receptions, 184 yards, 2 touchdowns. Top 5 defense? I don't think so.
I mean, like, come on, like, hello. Alan Thielen was the Packer killer before Justin Jefferson got there. He only had 3 catches.
Right. And it was one of those situations where it's like, well, with Kirk Cousins, I mean, I want to spread the ball around, but hey, I mean, you all are giving me the guy I want to really go to. He keeps making big time plays. I might as well keep going to him.
He literally caught the ball, took a step back, and realized, damn, ain't nobody within 20 yards of me. Okay, I'm gone.
It's just those things that makes me upset. But I'm happy though. It's happening because I really believe the Packers' time needs to go. I just don't believe that if you build a team around an Aaron Rodgers type of talent in the twilight of his career, you're going to get victories anymore. I really don't believe that anymore. You got to stack it with talent, and if you believe you have the talent, good. But
what Minnesota did to them was good. Oh yeah, by the way,
yes, I loved it.
How did round 1 go for Derek Carr and Devontae Adams? The stats look good, but
I would say the connection went well, but the end result was not the way they wanted. Not the way they wanted, especially with the former Raider ending things.
Khalil Mack.
A strip sack fumble to end it all. And then I'm like, this is so befitting. This is so fitting. The Raiders had this guy, and this guy was such a difference maker for him, and now he gets to be a difference maker against them. I'm like, oh, that's sad.
By the way, no J.C. Jackson for the Chargers. And yet, Justin Herbert is that dude. He is that dude.
Man, it should be a crime. This is the first game in his 3rd year. It should be a crime that this guy is this cold this early in his career. I'm like, oh my God. I mean, he's putting up these types of numbers and making these types of throws. He's not even in his prime yet.
Now, I'm not being prisoner of the moment. I don't want y'all to think that because, I said it Friday. I said it Friday. I put it in the chat Friday. It's one game. My Rams got that buzz kit. It's one game.
It's one game.
I know it's one game. I like it to happen.
Yeah.
But for right now, with the information that we will put forward from week 1, Patrick Mahomes still show he's that dude for what he did at Arizona.
Well, that was
on the road, by the way. By the way, that's in the exact stadium where the Super Bowl is gonna be played at.
Yep.
So he's already looking forward to that. And he showed it like, okay, this is what the Super Bowl will be played at. All right, I can make my statement now. Justin Herbert showed, I'm coming. Russell Wilson, they'll get it together. I believe they'll get it together.
Yeah.
There's so much going on. First game, new team, and you're going back to the place where you've been at for the longest. And then the Raiders. Derek Carr. You still have Hunt to the run through, by the way. Just throw that out there.
One of the best route runners in the game.
Don't turn into Aaron Rodgers and try to force it to Devontae Adams because he's that guy. We know this. And that's probably gonna mess up the Raiders season because he gonna be locked for because he playing with his former college player.
I hope it doesn't, because I thought Carr turned the corner last year, and also remember to Mr. Carr, I thought you actually liked number 83. So what happened to using the mismatch that you have with Darren Waller and any safety that covers him? What happened to that?
I don't think he wanted to test Derwin James.
Well, no, I don't even want to test him. Yes, but I know that you have moved him from side to side, right? So you don't want to test one safety, which, yes, I have a mad respect for Derwin James. Test the other. And if you feel as though you can't just hit seams, hit shallow crosses with them. something, but just don't make him a non-factor. Am I making sense here? Not saying to you. I'm just saying to Derek. Am I making sense here? I mean, you have a good weapon like that. You can't make him a non-factor. And yes, I thought he locked eyes too hard and too much with Devontae Adams too.
That's just what it is. But it's week 1.
Yeah. It's in a week 1. I'm happy with what happened. And I'm also happy too that the first game we have in week 2 is going to be the Chargers and the Chiefs. So hey, we're gonna start off week 2 pretty nicely. I love that. I love that.
I gotta pick that game tonight. God damn
it. All right. So how can the people reach you, Playmaker?
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. That's the Playmaker or D20 Playmaker. Either way, I'll come up right quick and fast. And I heard tonight, Arch Rivals 8:00. Recapping week 1. Looking forward to week 2. And then randomly talk all the other stuff that I do. You can catch it all on your favorite podcast platforms and everything, and plus YouTube as well. So that's pretty much it.
Man, if I were to read the places he's been and the places that he does, I would probably be here all the way to the top of the next hour. This is Darryl Silence, aka the Playmaker, the real Playmaker, not the Michael Irvin one.
Nah. I call him the OG. I call him the OG.
Yeah, but the OG on the field. Media, that's another story. Man, it's always Playmaker. It's a pleasure, man. Thank you for joining me, man. All right, brother. That's the Playmaker. He joins us every Tuesday, 9:05 Eastern, 8:05 on the Central side. Join him on Arch Rivals and Ramley Talk and all the other stuff that he does. It's a laundry list of ridiculously wonderful content from that one dude. When we come back, I think I'm going to touch a little bit on Major League Baseball rules changing. And, of course, I'm going to show some love to the chat as well because I love you all in the chat. Be right back. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Cole Johnson here on the other side.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Have you had a chance to visit the Snowman in the Morning shop yet? You haven't? Then what are you waiting for? Go to officialsitmorn.com, check out the shop when you type in the word shop, and you'll see themes like, a coffee mug that's available, a sweatshirt, a t-shirt, and a whole lot more. And while you're buying items from the Snowman in the Morning shop, you can support the Snow Strong Carolina mission. We got a lot to do in a short time to get there. Go to officialsitmorn.com/shop. Check out all of the gear and wear the same gear that the crew wears. And when you're doing that, tell them Snowman sent you.
BS3 Network. Changing the way you watch TV.
for Steph Curry.
Tim Anderson.
Jordan Alvarez.
And it's caught. Debo Samuel with the catch.
Michael Jordan can sense.
The Fro just got the king.
BS3 Network.
The hottest of hot takes. The coldest of cold hard facts. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Weekdays at 8 a.m. Eastern. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
Hey everybody, Snowman here, and thanks for listening to this episode of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Want to tell you about a little thing we like to call Monkey Knife Fight. Wait, what in the world is that, you may ask? Well, Monkey Knife Fight is a daily fantasy site where you can play your favorite games, support your favorite players, and make money at the same time. And right now, if you go to monkeyknifefight.com and use the code Snowman, you will get a 100% deposit match on up to $100 on your initial deposit. Go to monkeyknifefight.com and use the code Snowman for an up to 100% deposit on your first deposit of up to $100. Thanks, and tell them Snowman sent you.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
On Twitter, on TikTok, on Instagram, and on Twitch, it is official SIT Morn. That's official SIT Morn on Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, and Twitter. Back at it on a wonderful, terrific Tuesday edition of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. I am Cole Johnson of Cole Sports. Doing it all today for you. One half of this wonderful duo, too. The other half of the dynamic duo is convalescing. He might show, he might not. But if so, we understand. And as he has done for the last week or so, I think he's done some Snowman Unfiltered episodes. And I know he did one last night. So there you go. Prayers to you, Snowman. Love you, brother. Hey, Pizzle. Oh, man, thought I missed it. And I love this comment. Wise was talking about wifey. Six says, Wise, the best way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Wifey is a smart woman. God bless her. He was elite or cool. He says, Arlington football team, the only NFC Beast team that lost. You know, I did say in the BS3 network chat that is loaded with a ton of Cowboys fans, I said, you should take heart. The Commanders, the Giants, and the Eagles won. While with Dak Prescott, the guy that you said is the best quarterback in the division, could only manage you a field goal. The bitter truth says that's why they re-signed Jimmy. Andrew says nobody won the AFC South. Do not remind me. I'm about to throw up. Because I will say this again, the Colts need to resign as an NFL franchise. They have no business tying with an inferior product such as the Texans. And yes, I'm saying this being a guy who roots for them. The Texans are hot garbage. They are trash as an organization. I'm not talking about the players. I'm talking about the organization. They are absolute trash. And the Colts allowed trash to shine. Then they need to stop being an NFL franchise. Good morning, kinfolk, to you. The Hawk TV. What's up, brother? I'm glad that you are joining us. Be part of the fam. So glad that you are. It's the why it says Big Blue finally won a season opener. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, sir. I think this is the first time they won one since 2000. Is it 2015? I'm thinking it's. I know it's been a while, but I think it's 2015 is the last time they won a season opener. The Hawk TV says Russ is the ultimate diplomat for having his head coaches back. True, professional, as he says. Yes, I agree. He's a true professional. But you know, when he got to Sierra, he was like, that heifer. They signed me to win games like this. And this is the game I wanted to win in the regular season more than any other, unless it's a playoff bid that's on the line. And that heifer of a head coach decided to take the ball out of my hands and mismanage the clock. 6 says, Cole, you might need that clip of Jackie Gleason stuttering from the Honeymooners. Humana, 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 humana. Oh, gosh. Andrew says, yeah, 2 teams tied and 2 lost. No, I'm not going to go off because I probably would want to go off even further on the Texans again. The Hall TV says, with that said, they messed up for not going for it. Yeah. Yeah. And he said, Andrew says, about darn time they did wise. Talk about the Giants winning their first game of the season. Cool says, about to wince as well 2 times. Bit of Truth says, Baker. I spent all the Sunday listening to the Panthers podcast and warned them that this is what they should expect all season with them. Yeah. 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 Play lackluster until he really is invested, and when he's invested, he'll show some signs. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. And he did that all last year with the Browns. A Pistol says Marshall beating Notre Dame was awesome. Yeah, it's awesome except for Mr. Freeman, the head coach of the Fighting Irish. Bit of Truth says, "Oh, you got to bring me in on this one." Talking about the Rams. He says the Rams just got physically dominated. Anytime the other team's QB is out there manhandling your defensive players, you are outmatched in intensity. I said this Friday, man, and I'm glad you said that. I said this Friday. What impressed me the most about the Bills versus the Rams was when the Bills had the ball, the first possession of the second half, and they literally all like bouncers. And I mean, every one of them were like bouncers. They were tossing every Ram defender out the club. It was if you were the Rams, it was it was deflating. If you were the Bills, it was motivating because it was as if each guy was taking turns, just wanting to say we're more man than you. And when you have that, woo, that's not good. That's not good for a football team. He also says Akers came back early from his injury to play in Super Bowl last year. That is correct. He should have set out all of last year. For coach to say he needs to capitalize on limited opportunities is definitely a head scratcher. Yeah, that's where I am with it. That's where I am with it. I'm like, this guy proved to you that he had heart because he was supposed to sit out the whole year, yet he comes back 5 months later. I'm sorry, 6 months later to show that he wanted to be part of the team. To me, that's no more hard to me to show than that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Bitter Truth says Buffalo treated that game as a Super Bowl, and that's the thing. That's the thing. Now the Rams are going to have to deal with teams looking at them as if it is their Super Bowl, because they are the defending champs, and every team is going to want to put forth their best effort against the defending champs because they want to see if they measure up against the latest measuring stick, and the Rams are the latest measuring stick. And so you're going to get efforts like what Buffalo gave them, maybe not to the degree that the Bills did, because they're not going to meet teams that is as talented as the Bills are all the way around. And they're not going to meet teams as physical as they are. But you have to understand that the Rams are going to get every team's best effort. You're going to see this 16 more times. The question is, can the Rams be up to the task? Because they're going to see efforts like that. Better Truth goes on to talk about Aaron Rodgers. He said he was sitting there looking like he wished he retired. I was sitting there looking like I wish he retired too. But yeah, he looks shell-shocked, and he should, because he got broken off his money, and he was part of the reason why Devontae Adams is no longer a Packer. Now, I'm not saying he's fully the reason, but he's part of the reason. He also goes on to say you can't lay at the feet of their defense. They only gave up 23 points with an offense that couldn't move the ball. Still, Justin Jefferson, 9 catches, 184 yards. I'm there. I'm still there with that. Yes, 23 points on the defense. Still, to me, I think it's a little too much to give up for a defense. But 23 is okay for an offense like that because they could score more than 23. But you can't make it easy for the opposing offense to execute the way that they allowed the Vikings to. Bitter Truth also says they could have been run out with 35 points, so they did what they could. True. I agree there. Six says, when you're the defending champs, you can't afford to slip up. Every team is gunning for you. Correct. Tua, as A Pistol has pointed out, is now 4 up and 0 down against Belichick. Wow. So you mean to tell me out of all the times and all the ways that Dolphins fan, Dolphins organization, and probably even Dolphins player want to usher out Tua, he has that stellar of a record against the hoodie? Maybe there is something to Tua being there. Drew says, nice word, playmaker. I totally agree with it. Bit of truth. The 4 words that make me laugh, not because I don't believe them, but because I believe this is true. Cowboy season is over. And it only took 4 quarters for that to happen. And I will say this to Cowboys fan now. You're going to put all of your trust behind Cooper Rush. You're going to put all of your trust on Cooper Rush. I'll say it again. You're going to put all of your trust now in Cooper Rush.
Bitch, please.
Now, are they going to go to the Super Bowl now? I don't think so. If they even make it to the playoffs, they should be congratulating themselves. Not happening. Not happening at all. Oh, my God. 6 says, Bitter True Show, nothing kills a team more than a player showing a defeatist attitude. Yeah. Bitter Truth said Ryan played good enough to win. And thank you for the correction, Andrew and A Pizzle, 2016. So I was 1 year off. Okay. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Y says Diggs owned Ramsey. Yes, he most certainly did. Most certainly did. And there's a stat, and I'll see if I can remember this correctly. There's a stat about Jalen Ramsey. They said that he's given up touchdowns over, I think it's over 30 yards. 4 out of the last 6 games. And in the previous 65, he didn't give up one of that length. Hawk TV says, Cole, I think they weren't primed to see some I think we're primed to see some more upsets in week 2. I believe we might be too, man. Same. I believe the same. I believe we probably will see more upsets in week 2. Bitter Truth says Jefferson's yards mainly came with 2 blown coverages. That's what I'm talking about, Bitter Truth. That's exactly what I'm talking about. This is supposed to be a disciplined team, and the one issue I've had with the Packers, even before last year, is that they're prone to have these blown coverages and these communication breakdowns, and it normally happens against teams that seem to have their number in certain ways. And I'm saying to myself, well, this is how they execute. How is it that you're having these communication issues and gaffes? And I think that's where I am with it from that standpoint. Andrew laughing about my comment about the Cowboys. The Hall TV says, I think Cam Newton would be a great stand-in for Dak. Should I? I want to believe that, man, but nah. Look, I love Cam's heart. Unfortunately, I think he's so battered that his time is come and gone. I want to believe he can. I just don't feel that. I just don't feel it. And look, it's not just me that feels this way. A Pizzle says,
"You for real?"
But I mean, I want to, but nah, I just don't. Cool says Cam should be the pickup for Dallas. Cool. I'm saying I'm going to say this just out of love.
Bitch, are you for real?
I know why you're saying it, because you want the Cowboys to flounder further. So I get that. I get why you say it. Bitter says his opening day, the Browns had the same 2 lapses. True. And they won, correct. Yes. And I know that I remember one of those 2 lapses is what prompted the comeback for the Panthers. Yes, I agree. But the difference is the Browns executed on offense. The Packers did not. And they're going to have more games where the offense is not going to be there for the defense. So the defense cannot have those types of breakdowns because it's going to cost them more. And I would love for that not to be the case, but that's going to be the case with the Packers because they're not going to be as offensively solvent as they have been in recent memory. Unless, to me, if they actually put it in the hands of Aaron Jones and they allow when Lazard comes back and Valdez-Scantling to blossom further, if they can pick up the pace, cool. Otherwise, I don't know. Hawk says, come on, Cole. Think about it, big dog. I understand where you're coming from, man. I do. Look, Cam has talent. Yes. The problem is you're going to have to now tweak your offense even more. Actually, how he likes to go about and how you have to cater to his style, it may help out the Cowboys further, considering that they would have to be forced to run the ball. And in my opinion, that is what the Cowboys need to do. Their best players on defense, Micah Parsons is their best player. Without question, there's not even a debate. He's the best player in the Cowboys. So normally when your best players on defense, you want him to shine as much as he can, and you want him to rest as much as possible. So that means keep him off the field for as long as you can. And how do you do that? You run the ball. And that, to me, is where it would be beneficial to have someone like a Cam Newton on the team. However, we're still talking about a 34-year-old who has been battered and bruised. And unfortunately, he can't really be the threat that he needs to be throwing the ball like he used to be, say, in 2015, 14, 13. Cool says he's still better than Rush. True. But here's another reason why all that gets shut down. Who's the head coach of that team? I rest my case. So you already know that guy's allergic to running. Hall TV says Cam came in late for the Patriots 2 years ago and beat out Jarrett Stidham for the starter spot. The very next year, Mac Jones comes onto the team, and he's teaching Cam more of the playbook than Cam knew. That is damaging. The guy hadn't even played an NFL game yet he is teaching Cam the playbook. And that's not hyperbole. That actually is published fact. And I'm like, really? That hurt when I saw that. And here's sick. Now I don't have the soundboard, but I could do a good facsimile of it. No. Why it says McCarthy does not like running the rock. No, he doesn't. It's to the point where when he does decide to run it 30, 35 times a game, he always likes to bring it up to the media and make it a point. See, we do run the ball. And then the next 4 games, if he runs it 20, you'd be lucky. So the reason why it just wouldn't work with Cam is that Mike McCarthy does not like to throw or does not like to run the ball. He likes to throw it. And Cam just doesn't really have the arm anymore to do the throws that's necessary. Now, I'm not saying that Cooper Rush is much better, but what I am saying, though, is you would have to come up with a whole new offensive strategy for him. And that's not fair to the team, not to Cam. That's just not fair to the team. Cool says exactly, Cole. And Cam can take some shots on the field and run himself. Yeah, he can. It's just the only problem, though, is that he can't really run the way he used to, and he can't throw the ball often down the field like he used to. Like there was times he could wing the ball 50 yards down the field 4 or 5 times a game. I don't know if he can do that more than twice, if that. Ryan says, yeah, Ryan says, man, that's not true, Wise. I love the ground and pound. I think Wise was not referring to Ryan McCarthy. I think he was referring to Mike McCarthy, the one who was the puppet for one Gerald Jones in Dallas. I'm sorry, my bad. Cool. The Gerald, the owner of the Arlington football team. Yes, Ryan. Yes. Oh, you meant Mike McCarthy, no relation. Exactly. And I'm glad that you claimed that there's no relation. Why says Cam would be nothing more than a crash dummy. And that's the problem. I don't want to see him get hit and damaged more. I don't. Because Cam has the heart that it's like, man, I could still do this like I did when I was 24. You know, I'm 6'5", I'm 260, I'm built, I'm cock diesel. I can do this. And I can show you that I can still produce the same way now at 34 as I did at 24. The only problem is you can't bounce up off the turf as quickly at 34 as you did at 24. Now, it helps that you haven't really been on the field to get as much a contact in recent memory, that you only had a few games last year and you didn't really have any the year before. I understand that, but yeah, I can't. No. Cam basically would be antithetical to what the Cowboys, how the Cowboys like to run their offense now. It's similar to if someone were to say, and I actually heard this on ESPN yesterday, like if Colin Kaepernick were to be the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. You'd have to overhaul your whole offense just to fit his talents. Guess who would be upset? The guy who is supposedly the number one receiver on the team now in CeeDee Lamb. Yeah. Bitter Truth says the truth. So this is Dan Marino's problem. No, this is the Dan Marino problem. Sorry. When you rely too much on your superstar QB instead of running out your offense. Ding. Yes. 100, brother. 100. Cool says Dallas better get Dalton again. Use that keyword at the end of that. Again, because remember, Dalton already was a Cowboy. Get him again. 6 says, y'all cats are wild at times. Ryan says, Mike is Pennsylvania McCarthy. I'm New Jersey McCarthy. Okay, I got to remember that. I got to remember that distinction. Thank you for that, Ryan. Cool says, I think they're not going to bring QB of color. Dak is their quota. Well, yeah, you deal with Gerald here. Should I even go even further? 6 says Cam Newton has the heart, but no longer has the body. Durability has a shelf life. Durability definitely has a shelf life. And I think that's the issue, the overall overarching issue with Cam Newton. The things he used to do, he really can't do as well anymore. And unfortunately, what we saw in the stretch drive of last year with the Panthers is that teams have figured him out to the point and to the degree of you wince at times because, okay, you see the Cam has the ability to shine, but you put the pressure on him to beat teams in the pocket and he falters. And it's through no fault of him. That's just how he's been coached. And it's unfortunate. Wyatt says Cam needs to stick with being a guest on the podcast. Just make the tour, just be an I Am Athlete guest and all the smoke. Oh gosh. The Hawk TV says Colin can play too, y'all. Yeah, he can. Again, problem. You have to overhaul the offense in order to suit that guy's talent. And Mike McCarthy is not an RPO guy. I would love to say that he can, and if he was running it, like if we're if this was the Ravens and Lamar Jackson got injured, then I could actually see, okay, well, Cam might fit with them, and Colin might fit with them because they already run RPO there. They don't do that in Dallas, so it wouldn't really be a good fit. Hard TV says, but that's another story and argument for another day. Yeah, this is a good call. Good call on that, Hard TV. Look, you all have been such a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful audience, man. All of you at BS3, thank you so much. And for those of you who want to catch this show, just go to the BS3 network, bs3tvlive.com. You can go there, or you can hit the BS3 network on your Roku app, or buy or purchase a Roku TV and hit the BS3 app, and you can watch us on TV right now. You also can watch us on YouTube. We are at Snowman in the Morning 50. That is Snowman in the Morning 5 to the 0. That is where you can find us. And don't be afraid. Don't be bashful. Don't be shy. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you can be amongst the throng, like Andrew, like Ryan, like Sick, like our new family members, like F Holiday and the Hawk TV and Bitter Truth. Be amongst the fam because we love the interaction. We love the engagement. We love all of you. Well, that is all the time we have for this episode of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. I am Cole Johnson. And as always, we wish you good tidings. Take care. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, then they're simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. That's what I'm doing in the chat. That's what Brian is doing now. Wise, I know that's what you're doing, brother. And as I said again, congratulations on the interview with the head of Podmatch on Stuck in My Mind podcast. Check his podcast out. Wonderful programming there as well. And check out others too. No Credentials Required with Ryan McCarthy and the Bitter Truth Show and the Hawk TV and the Playmaker and all the stuff that he does with Ramley Talk and Arch Rivals. And of course, starting up next month, he's going to do his NBA coverage, which that's where he really cooks. Check out all these wonderful programs along with the Shady Sports Network and the Elite Eagles podcast. Check out all these wonderful content creators because they do wonderful stuff as well. So all of us here at Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. I am Cole Johnson. And let's check out me later on this week as I will unveil the next episode of Cole Sports with a Z. And I will have our Dope of the Week. Upon further review, I will talk about Lamar Jackson and his contract. And I will also talk about these Major League Baseball changes for 2023. Are they good? Are they bad? Are they indifferent? I'll talk about that on Cold Sports, but you already know what's going to take place tomorrow. That's right, a doubleheader of Bronze Sexual Confessions. And until then, I'm Cole. See ya!
Thank you for tuning in to Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson, the hottest of hot takes and the coldest of cold, hard facts.